What if I told you that the entire narrative surrounding how people use ChatGPT is wrong? Or at least it's wrong when it comes to transactional searches, when people actually need something. We just wrapped a 24-hour study where we sat with everyday people, we tasked them with finding the types of services that they could very well need. We did not limit them to ChatGPT, but we started them there, and then we observed their behavior. And ultimately, it turns out that old habits die hard. Surprise number one, 75% of the sessions included keyword searches. In other words, like dentist near Boston, best affordable dentist Manhattan, dentist Petersburg, Virginia. Yeah, for real, we're talking about like 2003 Google keyword searches. Now, many of the follow-up prompts, like the guy that was looking for best affordable dentist Manhattan, actually were conversational. Like in this case, he said, can you please add more and include location and reviews? But still, when you go down this list, there's a lot of keyword searches that are happening here and not too much conversational language. Surprise number two, 45% of these sessions were one-shot prompts. The narrative is that we're having these long back and forths with ChatGPT. This column is a record of the follow-up searches that people perform, the follow-up prompts. There's a lot of blanks in here. As a matter of fact, 45% of them are blank. And even of the ones that did have follow-up prompt, 34% of those were just asking for more results. Now, on average, each session had 2.1 prompts, which means that you did have a lot where people had one-shot prompts. But then there were some where they did have 5 or 6 or 7. Hence where this idea that we're having these long back and forths with AI is coming from. Because frankly, some of us are. Insight number 3, the average user actually checked out 3.7 different businesses out of the results on ChatGPT. So like in other words, if you're the first result, if you're the third result, you still have a bite at the apple, so to speak. GEO, AISEO, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter if you're number one, you just need to be part of the consideration set. Only 27% of the participants only looked at one business. So 3 out of 4 are going to take a look at a few of you. Insight number 4, 40% of the users felt that they were ready to make a decision without visiting the website. Now, we did an AI mode study a couple months back that found that it was 31% were not ready. In other words, 69% of the participants went to the website. On ChatGPT, that number is significantly higher. Now, the other way to look at this is that 60% of the users did not feel that ChatGPT had given them everything they needed, which led to 22% of them switching over to Google to verify what they found on ChatGPT, and ultimately resulting in 16.5% of our participants clicking to the website from Google after starting on ChatGPT, which is showing up in your analytics as Google organic search traffic, when in actuality, there's an argument to be made that it came from ChatGPT. I think that there's an important insight there, however. The narrative in digital marketing right now is that people do their research on ChatGPT, but then they verify everything on Google. We found this to be the case 1 out of 5 times. So 78% of the time, your customers are making their decisions based on what they found on ChatGPT and your website.